Hello and welcome to Seton Cardinal Spotlight, the show where only the best of the best get to shine. I'm your host, Colby Cox, and today we have not one, but two very special guests with us here today. They are the president and vice president of the Seton Catholic Student Council and the senior class. One of the guests here has recently been accepted into the U.S. Naval Academy, and the other one has received a scholarship to Marian University. Those guests with us here today are Trent Reichley and Nathan Dickman. Welcome on, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Cox.
Not a problem. Just can't believe we managed to get you on your busy schedules.
Yeah, we'll squeeze it in there for you.
So, this is a question for both of you. I want to start by asking, what is the role of student council here at Seton?
Sure, it's to create a healthy learning environment to not only succeed as a student, but succeed as a person and, of course, an athlete. And our athletics is are really important, really fun here, but it's just helping our students to be the best version of themselves possible.
Right. Nathan, what do you have to say?
I'd say the biggest role is to invoke change and then promote
Right.
enthusiasm, because this school, no school in the world will ever be perfect, but the idea of perfection is something we must always strive for. So there's always things that change, there's always things to improve, and there's always people you got to motivate, because when you get them enthusiastic, their grades go up, their performances go up, and their lives get better.
Right. And Nathan, would you say that so far you've been successful in doing that?
Mostly, for the most part, yeah. We're trying to, we've had about a month now, where all of our meetings have been canceled because of snow days and whatever, so it's been kind of hard this semester to get things going, but yeah, for the amount of time we have and the resources we have, yeah, I'd say we're doing a fine job.
Yeah, the weather has not been on anyone's side these past few weeks.
Not unless you like getting out of school.
Yeah. So, back to both of you. What future projects do you have planned for the student council? What do you want to accomplish before the end of the year, before you two graduate?
Sure. One that I'm very excited about, and one I've been talking to, we have been talking to Mr. Markwood about, is a water bottle fountain that the student body really desired this year, and I think we're gonna get that in here soon, the next couple months. So I'm very excited about that.
All right, Nathan.
Couple things. I'd first say the service hour program that we have here is a little flawed and a little challenging for students with a busy academic and athletic life. So here we have a limited population. A lot of them play sports. So we want to make service hours more of a want to and rather than a have to. And so we're trying to change the rules there. And we also want to get a canned food drive set up, because, you know, there's always a war on poverty. And we as Christians, we as Catholics here have to, you know, do our role in helping the poor, even because there are poor people in our very own community right here.
You're right, absolutely. Do you have any specifics, Nathan, on what you want to change about the service hour program? Because like you said, I think it's a very good program, but heavily flawed.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is you have to get, you know, they try to tell you to get a third in each category. I want to push more of the non-for-profit. The church and the school are great. You know, help out there as much as you can, but we're also here to spread Seton's name and show that we are people with a good light on the name of Seton, and we can share those talents and gifts with people less fortunate than us, maybe help Cope Environmental Center with their work towards the environment in our area, things of that nature.
Right. Very, very interesting. When you were running, and even now, what was or what is your main goal as president and vice president?
I think Nathan, in the first question, really answered it well, to just proliferate that enthusiasm throughout the student body, just to make sure that everyone is involved, everyone feels like they are involved, because pretty much we're all in this together, and we're just trying to create a fun and healthy environment for everyone to succeed in, and I think that's what the role is, what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah, this school's definitely a family. And we want to make sure everyone in here and in this school knows that this is a family, and they can talk to absolutely anyone about problems or issues they have. And that's really the biggest thing, is we're here for the students to make sure their lives are going just as God intended them to.
Right. Yeah, that's always one of the things I've always loved about this school, just being able to talk to anyone. Everyone, for the most part, gets along with each other. It's very nice, and I'm glad you want to continue that. So, about student council, how can students bring up issues that they want to address in student council. How do you encourage that?
I would say, yeah, it's not that as difficult as it would be in like Richmond or a bigger school, because like Nathan said, we're all family. So I would tell students who are listening, would just go out and talk to one of us. We're pretty easy to talk to, pretty easy to approach, and even if they don't feel comfortable talking to us, they should talk to Mrs. Blakely or Mr. Markwood, Mrs. Cartwright, and they'll get that information to us, and we'll do our best to achieve what they want.
Right.
Yeah, and our main goal is that students, maybe aren't scared to talk to us, because we are, big seniors, whatever. To us, that's not as big of a deal, but to younger children, we want to make sure that, we don't intimidate them in any way. We're very personable, and we're out there, and we know that anyone can come to talk to us about any issues about their lives or the school.
Right. Yeah, and I remember when I was in student council last year and the year before, there was a definite hierarchy. Like, I mean, when I was in junior high, we pretty much didn't do anything. Freshmen got a little bit better, but we didn't contribute that much. There was a set group of people that were making the decisions, calling the shots, so to say. Do you think the way that student council is set up now has improved that? And if not, how do you guys want to improve that? Trent, if you want to start.
Yeah, it's hard to compare the past years to this year, but I think we've worked really well in involving the students. I think there's definitely some areas that we can improve on, especially when it comes to setting up canned food drives and incentives to get out there and especially in service hours and community service. I think we can do a lot better, and there's some advertising opportunities that we can focus on. But I think we're doing a pretty good job so far.
I think Trent would agree with me here. In past years, maybe senior presidents really only look for the advice of sophomores, juniors, and seniors, mainly just their own class.
Right.
And I saw junior high student council members, they were more off to the side, doing their own thing, whatever that may be. So this year, we as president and vice president have really been trying to engage the junior high members and the freshman members in meetings to get their input, whether they're as enthusiastic as they should be or not.
Right. I see that. This question goes to Nathan. So you recently accepted into the Naval Academy. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about the Naval Academy?
Yeah. So for a lot of people, it's a pretty strange thing. They don't fully understand it really unless you truly get to know it. It's very challenging, very difficult. They make sure that you fail at some point. I've been told that in many interviews, that their goal is to not necessarily break you, but that failure even in your best efforts, because you're going to be busy all the time. And the goal here is to really just serve the American people. It sounds broad, but in the small scale, that's really what we're there for. We're not there really for us. We're there to serve, the people of America, even though we're going for free. That's great, but that's not really the true reason why everyone is there. They're there for the good of the well-being of the people.
I see. So is the Naval Academy, is it officer training, being trained to go into the Navy as an officer?
Yeah, you can go Marines or Navy actually with the Naval Academy, and you have many options. You could become a Navy SEAL, you could become a search and destroy, you could become surface warfare, cryptologic warfare officer. These are all fancy terms, but in the end, I mean, they're all just people being trained to be leaders in the American military.
Yeah, and you are planning to go into the Naval Academy, right?
Yes.
What do you plan, of the stuff you listed, what do you plan to pursue if there is anything you didn't list that you wanted to do?
So I mentioned cryptologic warfare. That's basically the computer people on ships. They're the one that help, target weaponry and also make sure that their systems and their infrastructure is secure, and maybe, see if enemy infrastructures are not so secure. As for major, I'm looking at either cybersecurity, obviously, for cryptologic warfare, or mathematics.
Oh, wow. I bet that's a lot of hard work there.
It'll be a strenuous 4 years, but a good one.
Right. All right, now going to Trent. So tell us, I mentioned earlier that you got a scholarship to Marian University. Can you tell me and the audience about that?
Sure, it's granted to someone who shows academic excellence and an interest in the theological studies. To me, it just seemed like a really good opportunity for me to engage, stay with my faith, and get a chance to really delve into what I want to do, and that's eventually be a lawyer. So law school is definitely in my mind, and I think that scholarship was really going to help me form relationships and bonds with people in the Indy area, or in the areas that we'll be going out. Because the Marian Scholarship, you do many service projects, and you do many interactions with people in the government, and I really think that's just a good way for me to really form those bonds and help me out in the long run down in my career.
Right. So have you decided to go to Marian University, or are you going to a different school to study?
Sure, I've had a lot of thought about this. I'm still trying to discern what I'm supposed to do, but I really like Marian as a school. I really like Xavier and Valpo University. I'm still thinking about it, but Marian is definitely on the top number one.
Right, I see. And you're pursuing a degree in law?
Yeah, I'll first be majoring in political science, but then after college, I plan to head to law school. Yes.
Right. Back to both of you. How would you say that Seton, or maybe your being president of the student council, or just Seton and your time at Seton in general, how would you say that they've helped prepare you for what you're about to go? I mean, you're going to the Naval Academy, you're possibly going to Marian University. How would you say that Seton has prepared you for that?
Sure, I've always believed that you build who you are like you build a cathedral from the ground up, and I think Seton has really helped me build those foundations, have that strong foundation in my faith, in my extracurricular activities, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, and I really enjoyed it here. I really enjoyed it here. I am going to miss it, but I really think Seton has prepared me to the best extent of my ability to perform well in college and later on.
Right.
And I think this applies to both of us as service, really. Trent, he has a scholarship because he is a wonderful Christian who exemplifies the meaning of service to the world and to the people. And my goal going to the Naval Academy is really to serve. The student council provides you with the opportunity to serve the people of your school, get to know them, and teach you how to be a leader while being a servant, servant leader. Right.
Do you have any advice for future students who may want to pursue student government or student council here at Seton?
Yeah, it's an easy thing to do. You just have to be dedicated and involved in the student body and wanting to serve, because that's how you do it here. That's how we've been taught to do it in many aspects of your life, not just student council. But if you want to do it, just sign up, get your classmates involved, get your school involved, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, definitely go for it. Be enthusiastic. Get out there. Make sure everyone knows that you're committed and that you're going to be out there to serve them.
Right. Any additional information that any of you would like to add?
No?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seton Cardinal Spotlight. For more information on Seton Catholic Schools and student achievements, visit www.setonschools.org. And if you're watching this video, please subscribe to the official Seton Catholic Schools YouTube channel for more Seton Cardinal Spotlight and other videos regarding our school, and give this video a like. Also, be sure to follow the official Seton Catholic Schools Twitter and Facebook pages for further information. I'm Colby Cox, signing off.